Hi, everybody. It's February, and we're thinking thoughts of spring at this point. We're more than halfway through the winter time, and that third week of March is a really good time to look forward to. And very honestly, we have good news going on in the healthcare arena across the country. First, and always close to our heart, is what's happening with respiratory illnesses. It appears now that across the nation, respiratory illnesses are on the downswing. And that includes our three biggies: flu, COVID, and RSV. All of them are really beyond what is their seasonal peaks. At any point, something could happen, but there's no indication that there is. And so all three of the diseases are somewhat on the downswing. There's been an issue that people have realized about COVID home testing. COVID home testing. So a lot of you got the home tests. I have a box right here of them, and we've used them. As the variants have changed, as COVID has evolved, remember those home tests are years old, and some of you got a little notice that said the expiration date on this box is posted as being beyond, but it's still a good test. So the test hasn't changed. What that means for you is that test is still good, but the latest variant is a little delayed in how long it takes to produce significant quantities of that virus in your nose. What that means is some people on their first test are showing up negative when later tests a day or two later show up positive. And yes, that is what is happening with the current generation of home tests, which in some cases are now 3 or 4 years old. Remember, we got into this mess in 2020. My, how those years have passed us quickly. But we are at a point where those home tests take a little bit longer to convert across. You might notice that if you think you have COVID because of exposure or because of symptoms, and you do an original test, you're still sick, you still have the typical symptoms for COVID. Wait for a day or two, and two's probably a better time. Swab again and see that it's positive. We're still on that 5 day cycle for COVID. Stay home for 5 days, and then the 5 days after, um, allow other people not to catch your bug by you wearing a mask. And if you have to be around other people, you wear a mask and they wear a mask so that you can keep it away from your family. And if you're in an essential job and need to go to work, you have a mask on and they have a mask on. So that's COVID and respiratory infections. What is passing now in many communities is GI bugs. So that's vomiting and diarrhea, unpleasant wintertime illness, no fun. Not that serious in terms of knocking off people for more than usually 2 days, but it's still very uncomfortable, and that seems to be passing. And on the EMS side, we're seeing some of those people who have lost a lot of fluid and they're dehydrated. They may pass out, be lightheaded, et cetera. So be aware of that. What is happening now of note to us in EMS is our hospitals have all been running at capacity. We still have some pent up demand from our COVID times and want to make sure that we are taking care of people and getting work done that didn't get done over the COVID years. But it's really stressed a lot of our hospitals. And many of you know our hospitals have been understaffed and they haven't been able to use all their beds and all their capabilities. And we're still leaking people out of the healthcare field. What we do to respond to that in the next year is replan our hospitals, replan how we work with them to get the necessary work done, and then very honestly, community paramedicine or mobile integrated healthcare that a lot of fire EMS services are integrating into their core set of services. That's our future. And that is keeping people away from the hospital that don't need to be there. That is making use of our community resources to get people better without them having to use the hospital. It is about getting people who've come home from the hospital better and not repeat visits, not readmissions, et cetera, that are not something that we want to have in place as we move forward. So interest in mobile integrated healthcare is really there. Talk about it in your community, find community resources, apply all of the resources that are available in your community to a better program. It requires a little new thinking for us in emergency medical services, but really important. And that's part of the year ahead planning for next winter so that we don't have the same capacity issues. So we continue to take good care of people in the wintertime when our healthcare system is always more stressed. That's Doc Talk. It's the beginning of February. We'll come back right around Valentine's. And so think about the people that mean a lot to you. And Valentine's is about showing appreciation for the people that you love the most, but everybody. And we need a little of that good news and in society right now. So Doc Talk, take care of yourselves. Let's get through the rest of winter. Thank you very much.